On this episode, we're talking about the work. Hey everybody, this is the Quarter Show again. We're talking about the work. The work. So, you know, we were talking this morning at our sales muster. Every morning we have a call, we have a sales muster call, and we kind of go over different topics. And the topic was the work. And if there's one thing that I've seen as the flaw to any salesperson that I've been critiquing or that I work with or whatever, the one thing, the difference between the greats, the ones that are doing really well and doing huge numbers, and the ones that are like struggling really hard and they're having a difficult time, the one thing is that the greats are outworking the ones who are struggling like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1. And the analogy I gave was, if you're training for a marathon, I'm a runner myself, and so, you know, running kind of indicates to me, if you're a runner, then I'm sure this is real to you. But if you're training for a marathon and you're training and you're running 2 miles, let's say you're running 2 miles, 3 days a week, and that's it. You know, and the marathon is 6 weeks out. Like, it's just not, you're just not doing the work, right? Like, you're not ethical to that degree for the mission that you have to be on. Right? And saying ethical, it sounds like, what? But it's like the work ethic is out to that degree for that mission, right? Because what you need to be doing is a training pattern that goes, you know, you're running 5 miles Monday, you're running 8 miles the following day, then you take 1 rest day, the next day you're running 12 miles, and then you're doing whatever on Friday, you're doing another like 15 mile on Friday, then you're doing a long one on Saturday, you're running a 20 miler, and then you do an easy run 5 mile on Sunday, 5 mile rest day. Like the rest day is 5 miles, right? So you're running 6, 7 days a week. Then you're resting and you're taking, you know, you're icing your legs, or you're doing this, you're getting a massage, you're doing muscle. Then you're getting your diet in, then you're getting your hydration in, you're getting your drinks in, and all the different things. Then you're getting a sleep pattern in, and all this stuff as you build up to get that 26-mile marathon run, right? That's doing the work at the right level. Meanwhile, you're studying books on how to run, how to get the best pace, and what you need to do to sort of hack the race and get better at your best time, right? And you're doing all these different things to try and like get your breathing down. You practice your breathing, all this kind of stuff.
This is what people do?
This is what people do. And you start looking and you go, like, wow, what is required? You look at the estimation of effort, you say, what is required to do this? And when you look at your sales day and you say, what does doing the work mean? Doing the actual work. And I talk to people and say, you're not doing the work. And they're like, I am. And you know, I say, look, if you're throwing baskets and it's 10 feet out, it's like, yeah, and you're throwing 2 feet out. It's like, yes, you're throwing a basket, okay? Yes, you're taking a basketball and you're throwing it to the basket, but you're throwing 2 feet out and it's 10 feet out. It's just like, yes, you're doing some work, but it's not at the right level, right? And the thing is, like, you need to do the right amount of work to get there. And it's usually much bigger. If you're not getting the right now, it's usually much bigger than what you're doing. Much bigger. And it's the number one thing that when I find a bugged rep, like a bugged sales rep, somebody who's having problems or falling over themselves or not getting the numbers, every damn time, it's like they're not doing the work. They're not working at the right level. And the ones who are winning, that are on our team that are winning, they're always working at the right level. Can they do more? Yeah, they can do more, but they're always crushing the work. And
it can be hard to put in that much work, you know, because the thing is when you're in a position where you're not necessarily, you don't have a supervisor and you don't have a clock to punch and you don't have different things like that, like it takes, you know, to a degree, and a whole separate show would be, you know, self-motivation and the reason why you're doing what you're doing. Because for me, there was a long stretch when I was first like getting really going with Richter. Like I went for like, you know, a little while and was doing okay, and then when I really was like, you know, Rob would constantly talk about self-motivation and what motivates me and why I was doing anything, and then I finally turned a corner and I put in, you know, like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then I'd take a break for dinner and whatnot, work from 9 to 11. That was Monday through Friday, and then I would take Saturday off and then work all day Sunday. But there was no reason to work 9 to 11 Monday through Friday except my own motivation, and work all day Sunday. There was no reason to do it except for like I wanted to turn that corner. I wanted to put in enough work. And then it was like 6 months of this, like nonstop, and it was not. I mean, because I wanted to do it, it was not difficult. I didn't miss out on anything really, but it took a lot of work. It took a lot of correct action. It took a lot of figuring out, because it was 6 months of this. It was like took a lot of figuring out what's the correct way to do. How did I succeed? Why did that deal close? And you look back. I mean, Rob's always talking about like, look back at what you did and how did you get this, and how did you hit these numbers or get these deals closed. And go and repeat that action again, you know, because then you'll find out what the correct work is. So when you put in a lot of work, you'll be doing the correct actions instead of just 2 foot shots. You'll be like, oh, a 10-foot shot. Okay, let me back up here. I got it.
Yeah, and you know, you have to be willing to sort of suck at the work. Sounds kind of funny, but kind of like skip the scripts, like make the phone calls, muck that up, make the voicemail, muck that up, send the deal, say the wrong thing, muck that up, like. But you only end up getting really good. You only get up really good by literally doing the work over and over and over again. And after a while, you sort of turn into a master. And another topic I want to go over, which is kind of like how to sort of become a master at that. I'm going to go over that on another show. But the first thing is like doing the work. And when you look at your day, and write it down, like at the end of your day, take a little snapshot, like write down your day, like what did you do today? Don't fluff yourself, whatever, just write down like how many phone calls, how many proposals, how many emails, how many of this, how many of that, what do you do on social, what do you know, who'd you connect with, how many like productively, how many meetings did you have, what did you get out, what, like take a snapshot of your day and kind of look at it and go like what actually happened? And then depending on where you're at for the day, and you look at the traction, you go like, is it enough? Is that the right level? You know, or are you taking a 2-foot shot, or are you taking it all the way to the 10-foot shot? And you know, and if it's not enough, then it's like, what do you need to do? It's like, okay, well, are you studying sales books at night or other entrepreneurial material, whatever it is, right? Other entrepreneur books or material. Are you drilling in the morning? Are you watching some video in the morning? Are you planning your battle plan? Are you making your lineup? Are you, you know, sending out your promo emails and connecting on social and doing this and doing that and doing that? And what are your phone calls and emails? And you know what I mean? Like it gets really big, and you just have to look at it like training for a marathon. It's like, well, are you doing everything involved? Are you icing, stretching, training, running, practicing, reading, you know, breathing, all these different things, sleeping, eating, what's your diet like, you know, hydration? It's all these things that goes into having a successful thing and actually accomplishing the goal of like running a marathon for 26 miles. And it's the same thing in sales. You go, well, like, what does it take to accomplish that? You know, and honestly, most of the time you run into different things. People are scratching their head in sales going, I don't know, the deal's stuck, it's bugged, it's this, it's that.
That's someone who's not taking any action. The problem with that is when you get into that area, because there are different prospects and things like that where you can get worked up, and you don't want to call them, you don't want to confront just calling them because you feel like you're gonna. In a lot of things, what you just said, I got the thing, you know, the feelings that I've had where I'm like, I might fail, right? I might not do this right. And so I don't necessarily want to say that you just have to go out and just fail a bunch of times or something like that. It's not exactly that. That's not what this is really about. But it is about going ahead and doing something anyway, despite how you feel inside. And then the more you can do that, the more you just like, you know, you don't necessarily like, you take the marathon thing. Who wants to ice their legs? Who wants to read about how you breathe or watch a YouTube video or really figure that out and really take the time? Like, is it worthwhile? And you wonder in your head, you can go into weird things in your head, but you know, to really get a post done or a sales job done, it really takes like going ahead and doing these actions despite anything that you might think or feel internally. Yeah. And just seeing it through. And just doing it. I saw this great post on Quora the other night. In fact, it dovetails along with what you were saying, but this guy was in good shape, and he was talking about, you know, somebody's talking about how do you get motivation, and he talked about, and I'm going to try and keep this short, but he goes, you know, like, when you have children, he goes, he analogizes the children. He goes, when you have children, you have multiple kids running around, like, nobody talks about motivation. How do you get motivated to take care of your kids? You just do it, right? You just wake up in the morning, you just take care of your kids, you take them to school, you do this, like, they get injured, they get sick, whatever. You just be a parent, like, you just do it. You're exhausted, you get home, you just do it. Like, you just have to. There's no choice, you just do it. And he said it's the same thing. It's like, he just looked at his workout pattern, like, working out for him wasn't an option. It was like 7 days a week, every single day. He goes, I don't work out because of, like, depending on how I feel. I just do it. I just work out because that's what I have to do, right? And that's just what he does. And he analogized it to parenting. He's like, it doesn't matter if you don't feel like parenting. You have to do it anyway. You just do it, right? And you wake up in the middle of the night. You don't want to wake up in the middle of the night. You just do,
Right.
That's fascinating. I wonder if that scraps all of motivation books everywhere, because that's sort of how I felt about it. You know, we talk about motivation, different things, and why you're going about it. But what I personally discovered is, before Richter, I had very little financial success in life, and then I hit a point where I had some decent financial success, and I'm like, wow. Now I'm motivated by what I will never experience again in my life. Like, no matter what, I will never go back to certain conditions. But at the time, being in that condition, it didn't motivate me to get out of it. I don't know why, and it doesn't really matter. But when I found just enough game in what Richter was doing, and just enough fun that motivated me, like just because it happened to be fun, I put in all these extra hours because I wanted to see what could happen. And then after it happened, I'm like, wow, yes, okay, very different. There's a whole other echelon that we're going to at Richter. I'm sure I'll look back and go, the current condition I'm in, which I kind of like, I'll never be in that one again. Never. Oh, can you believe how we used to be? You know, or something like that. But there is a lot to just carry out the action. There's a lot of duty in life. There's a lot of go ahead and do the action.
Doesn't matter how you feel.
At all.
Just do it. Doesn't matter if you're motivated. You know, just do it. Just do it. And the reward is there, and the different things are there. But like, if you just treat it that way, and you're just like, I'm just going to do the work. I'm just going to do the work. You know, that's a powerful thing. You just go and do it anyway. It's like you just go do the work. And next thing you know, you're in a good condition, and it just all starts to pay off. The trickle turns into a flood. And
what's interesting about that, by the way, and a quick comment, because we don't want to go on too long and everything, but I think there, you know, this isn't just applied to sales. I think there are a lot of people in other jobs that are not like commission or bonus or whatever oriented. But I know now that, like, from what I've experienced and what I know that if you crush whatever job you're in, there is reward for it that can be gotten and can occur, even if it's not, oh, he hit X numbers, so cut him a check for X dollars. Like, there's more. Like there are tons of jobs where if you just like dedicate your time, all of your energy, and really go for it, and then demonstrate that you've made great products, put it to your managers and your seniors and your executives and say, I've done this and I want more. Right? I know some great friends of mine who are not pushing to go up the organizing board and take more responsibility because they're in a nice little comfortable spot that's not actually that great. There's a lot of reward out there to be gotten from doing getting your job done and doing the work.
And it's such a rare quality. It's such an X factor. A lot of people don't do it. And, you know, it's easy not to. It's easy to convince yourself that, well, how do I get motivated? It's like, don't. Just do it.
Yeah.
You know, don't forget motivation. Just do the work. Right? Just push yourself, be disciplined, and just decide to do the work. And it doesn't matter how you feel, whatever. But the big payoff, frankly, comes from just doing the work. And a lot of people, it's so utterly simple and silly and stupid that people overlook it. But you can just do the work, do the work, do the work, do the work, and that will take you to that sort of like affluent state, or just winning, just consistently winning. After a while, you know, they say it takes 21 days to make a habit. Look, if you do the work for 30 days, after a while, it's just a lifestyle. It's just something you do. You know, you don't need motivation because that's just how you are. You know, it just becomes how you are. And motivation is not part of it. So focus on that. I hope that helps. I'm sure it will. And just hammer the work this week. Hammer the work this week, and you'll see the payoff, and then do it next week, and then do it the week after. Don't search for motivation and any other things. Just dedicate to do the work. Wow. And it'll pay off. Okay, make sure to subscribe to the channel there, and follow us on Twitter at thequarter show, and feel free to add questions. You know, hit the questions in the comments there, and we'll take them up on different shows as well. Okay, thanks for watching.